But
let's talk about rolling dice and why so many games
some
do
randomness.
that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I don't think I've seen a board game that doesn't have some aspect of luck. Right?
Whether it's drawing cards or rolling dice.
Rolling dice, yeah. And I think it's just an element that you can't really... Can you get away from it, you think?
What about chess? What about checkers? What do you think, Michael?
I don't know. I think chess and checkers is in a different ballpark from
because they're one-on-one games. They're intended to be a test of skill.
What about Chinese checkers?
I've never played Chinese checkers.
Dominoes.
I don't know why they happen to be so prevalent in all board games. I think honestly it's just to give everyone a fair chance.
Or make everyone believe they have a fair chance.
Make them believe they have a fair chance, I guess.
A lot of the time I've seen... I go back to Risk again. You roll dice to attack and defend, right? And that is random. And you also roll dice to see who goes first, which can be important. But at the core of it, it's just who has more men, normally, right? You can get the oddball ones where, one guy holds off 20 people.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just the math of it. So
the dice rolls don't determine win or loss.
No, not normally. Not as a whole. But they might for individual battles, yes.
Right. I think they're there for those... Because you don't want a game where the same guy wins every time. You don't want to be sitting across from your friend playing a game and just get pooped on over and over. And I think they can create those kind of like, oh my God, sort of like, whoa, dude, type moments.
Well, if you want that, you can just play Magic, and then you can just play someone better than you.
Well, yeah, but Magic is a random game too.
It is, yeah. Not in dice.
Heavily random.
Yeah.
Drawing cards is just as random as rolling dice.
That's true. You can still get poo-pooed on though real bad.
Yeah. I mean, and Magic is still, like you were saying with Risk, like your skill of acquiring the troops and positioning them right matters, just as how you play Magic matters.
Formatting a deck or whatever.
But yeah, I think the randomness is there because they don't want the same person to win every time. I mean, you're just going to flip the table over if the guy beat you 5 times in a row, right?
Yeah.
I mean, So
do you think is that a flaw that you want to get around? Is find some game that doesn't have that?
I think the flaw is actually in the way I approach games or other people that get upset by that. You shouldn't really care as much. You shouldn't care so much that you get upset because you lost over a die roll.
I still feel like it could be the way dice rolls are implemented is the key. Like you said in Risk, it determines wins or losses in battles, but it doesn't determine wins or losses in the whole game.
Right.
But like the betrayal on the House of the Hill,
it's pretty random.
It's pretty random.
It's pretty random.
And that could lose you the game.
Yeah, okay.
Let's talk about that game real quick.
I spoke about the game on our Game of the Week last week, and then after we recorded, we played a few rounds of it. And I still am a huge fan. It's super fun, right? But we can talk about some of the flaws of it. It is really random. It builds the house around you as you go out of shuffled tiles, so you never really know what's going to happen. It doesn't feel like the game is super skill-based. It's more like we're along for the ride. I think what we're getting at here, and maybe we're winding down, is that board games, I really enjoy board games. I think they're awesome. But it also depends on your play group, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's my biggest problem with them, right? As an antisocial degenerate, how do I find friends to play these games with?
Bribe people.
Yeah, you go to your LGS maybe,
That's probably your best bet.
Go there, see what people play the game.
Local game store for the layman.
Oh, sorry. Also, if you find a game that you like, there might be an online version. Like D&D has a Roll20 now. You can just play remotely on your computer.
Cool.
Yeah, so I mean, the internet helps you out with a bunch of those things. I mean,
so don't go on Craigslist and just
don't
looking for mysterious meetup.
Don't do that. No.
Okay.
Anyone want to play a horror game?
Yeah, I'll give you one.
Take security.
Yeah. So what we're saying is these games you can bring home to your family or friends that you have. These are games that you have to convince them to play, which some people might not be into. But my wife hates video games, right? Hates them. Pretty much hates anything nerd related, and she plays all of these board games because she likes them all. And yes, there was a lot of come play this game, and she was like, I don't really want to. But once you get into it, it's the social aspect that's really, really fun. And so I would recommend Betrayal at the House on the Hill, Dead of Winter, Risk, some older games too. If you have any, if you used to play Risk or something with your family at home, pick up some of these newer board games because they're a lot more complex and actually a lot more fun than most
That could
of
be
the
some
games.
wholesome Saturday evening with the family, right?
That's right. And then you'll
And
just throw stuff.
Like if you're one of those people that hates going home for Thanksgiving and it's awkward and there's a huge family that you've never seen in like a year and a half,
Yeah.
bring some board games.
Yeah,
It'll
bring
help
That's
you
a great
connect.
idea, yeah.
Yeah, I like
And
that. I like
there's
that a
so
lot.
many now. It's not
There,
like,
yeah,
you know,
there-
years
we-
ago where it was just
I mean,
corporations.
I can think of like 6 or 7 off the top of my head right now that I've
Yeah.
played that I enjoy and I would recommend to other people. You have to watch the price point. They're a little bit expensive nowadays too. Like you'll
What's the average price? do you think?
$50.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
usually. But these are indie type games that aren't like corporate releases. And
Right, but you also have to think the amount of gameplay that you're getting out of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
so Betrayal at House of Hill was $50, but you're getting 50 different stories, right?
There's 50?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah, and that's not even the expansion.
Yeah, we've only
How's
played
it
with
comes
2.
when we play Dead of Winter.
Right, yeah. So you got to think like the games that you pay a little bit more, but the playability is a lot better. Like Risk is always going to be the same,
Yeah.
right? Even though I like the game, I'm not going to play it every week. Like there's no way. But games like Dead of Winter and Betrayal at the House on the Hill and Pandemic and Settlers of Catan and stuff like that, I would play those as much as I can because they're never the same every single time. I think that's what you're paying a little bit more for. I think it's worth it personally. But
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to try some new ones. That's for sure. I'm ready to
I am
get
too.
halfway decent dice rolls, please.
Last night, when I was playing Magic at G2K, I was actually in the board game section between
Yeah.
matches, like looking at them.
yeah, just go check it out at wherever you play games, or go check out a local game store and just like browse through there and maybe ask the clerk. They might play some. I can
Yeah.
recommend some for you. And look at the back, and maybe you only have a 3-player play group. You know, find a game that only takes 2 or 3 players.
And if you can't do any of that, just play Monster Hunter.
Just play Monster
You
Hunter.
know,
Yeah, that'll work too. But if you have any recommendations that you would like us to play, you can tweet at us. Twitter handle is in the description below. You can email us, email all that below. And we'll play some of those games, maybe talk about them. We also take submissions for Game of the Week that we're doing every week. And we'll read your submission on air. You'll be internet famous. Just like we are.
yeah, just like us.
Just like us.
Exactly
Uh,
like us.
So you can also go to patreon.com/ampmedia to help the Amphigory Effect network that we're a part of get more and awesome stuff straight to you over the internet. Thank you guys so much for listening. Any sign-offs? Y'all did a good one last week. Last week was good.
You can't just put us on the
Can't
spotlight.
I got to. I got to.
Make it
You ruined it,
natural.
dude.
All right.
See, we were gonna have a good one.
You were gonna have a
now.
good one. Now you're holding back.
Should have
See
rolled
how it
for
is.
it.
Should have roll for sign-off.
Probably
Critical fail.
Probably would have got a critical fail.
Yeah. Well, goodbye, everyone.
Later.